I'd also like us all to say with one voice that anybody who is responsible for these war crimes, and they are war crimes in Ukraine, will be hunted down and held to account before the International Criminal Court. As to whether each and every act is in accordance with the law, well, that will have to be adjudicated in due course. I think it's unwise for politicians to stand on stages like this or to sit in television studios and pronounce day by day which acts may or may not be in accordance with international law. I think it's not the role of politicians.
You see the hypocrisy and shameless double standards of the British? If you ever wondered why the British, who can't even take care of their pensioners in their country, are spoiling for a war in Russia, don't look any further than their history. There is no war of irrelevant destruction that the British didn't love. The hypocrisy and double standards just leaves one marveling. Hello and welcome again to the Edge of Politics podcast. Geopolitical Queen here with today's episode on how the British haven't supported any irrelevant war of chaos in other countries with love. Let us refer to history for a moment. In 1916, the British and the French secretly conspired to split the possessions of the Ottoman Empire between them. And so they did. In 1935, the British, French, and Italians secretly agreed to the Huari-Laval Pact to allow Italy's fascist leader to invade Ethiopia, and so did British love to do. In 1953, the British and the United States secretly conspired to overturn the democratic government of Iran. That was in the days of the government of Mossadegh, and so they did. In 1953, the British also sent forces to crush the democratically elected government of British Guyana. In that same year again, the British and the United States overthrew the legitimate government of Guatemala, and they did so with love again. In 1956, the British secretly conspired to overthrow the nationalist government of Syria. In that same year, the British, French, and Israelis secretly conspired to invade Egypt and seize control of the Suez Canal. And so with love they did. The British, the United States, and the French conspired to overthrow dozens of other legitimate democratic governments across the globe, leaving hundreds of thousands dead and their so-called democracy shattered. The British can be safely said to be the secret architects of the Russian-Ukrainian conflict which we are experiencing today. The same would go for the war in Syria, in which now we have a former terrorist who is a self-acclaimed president named as al-Shara or al-Julani or al-whatever, depending on how he feels like. The destruction of Libya that killed Colonel Muammar Gaddafi and has left Libya in chaos till today. Likewise, that of Iraq. Continuing with the destabilization of Taiwan. The British alone has been involved in over 42 illegal coups since 1945, and also funding pro-British terror squads to execute Irish Catholic civilians in Ireland. Don't forget this. The next time the British try to convince you that Russia, Iran, and China are the enemies of your freedom, always remember that the real enemies of your freedom are indeed the British. So what do you think? Are the British, by any stretch, the lovers of freedom and peace as they are claiming to be? Well, kindly leave your comments in the comment section below, and thanks for tuning in. I will be back with the next podcast. Good day.
I'd also like us all to say with one voice that anybody who is responsible for these war crimes, and they are war crimes in Ukraine, will be hunted down and held to account before the International Criminal Court. As to whether each and every act is in accordance with the law, well, that will have to be adjudicated in due course. I think it's unwise for politicians to stand on stages like this or to sit in television studios and pronounce day by day which acts may or may not be in accordance with international law. I think it's not the role of politicians.